Brother Ron, and welcome to We All Be News Radio and TV, the news-free Dixie for the 21st century.
There's that buzz again. We're live, Run heard the second. You better not say third from We All Be TV with your favorite homegirl, Kara Dangerous. That's me.
Mm-hmm.
Will I be judged for talking in third person?
No, you cool. That's the American way.
Okay. Just don't call me egotistical. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Okay, no, I don't call you that.
I'm looking at you just smiling over there, so I'm like, should I just smile too?
You're a very visual appealing person.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. I try my best.
How you doing?
Shout out to my parents.
You wear your jeans well. You wear them well. You wear them well. Your jeans.
Well, thank you. And he's saying jeans that starts with a G, guys, not a J. I want to shout out everybody that's joining us on whatever social platform you're watching, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Hello. This is a very special Sunday edition of Kara Dangerous Talk. So, Ron, what's going on? I mean, you acting a little timid right now.
Well, I'm not really timid. I'm just pensive. I'm thinking about stuff. I know it's a Mercury retrograde right now. And I'm thinking, oh my God, okay, I think that's my fire alarm. It just started going off, so we got on the air. And it haven't happened in a while. So I said, like, Mercury retrograde is when the planet Mercury appears to go backwards around the sun. Mm-hmm. So it affects communication. It caused technology hiccups, traffic delays. You might have a ex come out of nowhere, try to friend you on Facebook or something.
Oh no, where's my Bible? Stay away, demon. Devil, get thee behind me. Get thee behind me.
All type of crazy accidents. I had a little crazy car accident in my car on the side of a pole coming out the garage. I normally go out the garage so many times, and just like on my way to get some catfish, it hit the damn side of the damn pole. People trying to kill me for like talking to their wives. I mean, I never slept with them. They accused me of sleeping with their wives. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. I don't share a lot on social media about all the things that happen on a daily basis, because I did. People wouldn't believe me. Just like that fire. I mean, it just started and soon we got on the air. But anyway.
You need a reality show.
I think everybody's in a reality show. I mean, we're in the Matrix, the world's a stage. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of weird stuff. But as I get older, I'm learning how to go with the flow. Sometimes you gotta, know when to hold them, know when to fold them, like Kenny Rogers said so many years ago.
Fold them. I like Kenny Rogers, man. You know when Kenny Rogers died, I was distraught. I went to Facebook and I asked all my white friends. I said, white friends. I literally said, white friends. I said, why are y'all not talking about the passing of Kenny Rogers? And they said, well, he's from our parents' generation. I'm like, well, I know him. I like him.
Oh, yeah, he's he's an icon. Remember he had that fried chicken restaurant chain he had back in the day?
I don't remember, but
it didn't last that long, so I don't blame.
But I enjoyed those commercials he was in. It was really cute.
Yeah, he was a great. He's like a great gentleman guy. He really. He wrote some great songs, some very memorable songs and stuff like that. Or he did some, like they know when to hold them and fold them and stuff. It's like if God forbid Willie Nelson passed. I got some great fond memories of Willie Nelson. Very iconic figure. He transcends his genre of music. He's kind of like how Snoop Dogg transcends hip hop or rap. He's an iconic, global icon. Yeah, very iconic. Yes. Yeah,
everybody knows Snoop Dogg. Even more than Jay-Z. People know, old folks know Snoop Dogg. Young people know Snoop Dogg. He's everybody's fake uncle, right?
Oh yeah, because he's doing stuff with baking brownies or whatever with Martha Stewart. I think he did a commercial with Ford Motor head guy A.L.L. Coker back in the day. I'm not mistaken. So he transcends generations. His appeal. But you would think about that almost 30 years ago. Was it about 30 years ago that he was facing the murder charges? Luckily, Snoop Dogg could have been out of here. I mean, you know, his bodyguard shot a guy that allegedly was trying to, you know, a gangbang or whatever, trying to take him out. I don't know. It's still kind of murky what really happened, but he was able to rise like a phoenix after ashes and have this amazing career.
It's amazing you said that, Ron, because sometimes I think about that case, and every now and then you will hear Snoop allude to it. And he really made it out of a sticky situation. And I guess it probably has been times we've heard him speak out to other rappers, but maybe that's somebody that when people say, well, who did Young Thug and Gunner have to talk to? Well, maybe they should have talked to Snoop Dogg. Even if it's different kind of charges. I'm just saying, you know, a mentor for them, you know, in the music business. It's several people, but you know, when you brought that up, it just hit me like that.
I mean, he's a survivor. Even with Death Row, he could have easily not have a career right now, but he made the right decision to go with Master P at that time. So Snoop had made some very chess move decisions. Now he got his own metaverse. I think he brought a percentage to Ice Cube's Big 3 League and stuff like that.
Yes,
so he's making some, and he's over 50 years old now, so he lived to be 50. Now we just celebrated Biggie turning 50 posthumously, and we celebrated last year Tupac turning 50 posthumously. But Snoop is very much well alive. You know, he reinvented himself, his brand, the Super Bowl performance. I mean, just iconic, and really one of the greatest rappers of all time. I mean, one of the most unusual.
Cool.
Yeah.
Whenever you heard of Snoop, whenever you used to hear Snoop Dogg part in a song, even if he was a feature, it's like I remember I was on the bus when I was in high school, and Welcome to Atlanta came out, and they got to the Snoop Dogg part, and I remember I looked across the aisle, and my friend Coretta was across, and when Snoop Dogg part came on, Coretta was like, "Man, he just cool." It's like, yeah, that motherfucker just cool. You know, Snoop, when you first heard Snoop voice, that voice was just cool than a breeze, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I remember
it's like when Snoop used to come on that track, D-O-double-O-G, you like, hell yeah. You ain't even smoke, but you like, roll me up, boy, because that's a cool dude right there.
But, you know, he had one of the biggest album debuts in the history of music, really. And he never won a Grammy, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
I mean, he had one of the biggest opening debut albums in history of music, basically, and never won a Grammy.
But you know what? When I have actors on this show, I ask them about awards, and because it's always seen as that in entertainment, especially when you're an actor, the black actors don't get the same opportunities or don't get to get in those seats when it comes to the Academy Awards and whatnot. But one of the actors said, you know, basically, it's not even about the awards. You know, you do a good job. People let you know that you see your growth. Other actors, you know, appreciate your work. And I think that's just some people just get to that point where they understand that I still do great work, even if I'm not invited to those things. And obviously, when you black, you have to kind of get to that point because you don't always get the fair shake.
Definitely, but then we got to do a good job of supporting those that honor us, you know, our own. God bless a child that got his own, you know, what Billie Holiday sang so many decades ago. We got to do a better job of acknowledging our pioneers and trailblazers, because one thing I know is with the black culture, we throw away people once they turn 40. Like, you look at Mick Jagger,
40? Are you Kevin Samuels? Damn.
No, we do throw away our icons as we do. Like
icons, yes.
You look at the Rolling Stones, right? You know, Mick Jagger them pushing 80 and stuff. They still performing sold out arenas. You got people like 3 generations, right? You got their original fans, and they got their kids, and they got their grandkids at the concerts. So they're teaching them about their heroes or whatever. And they won't let their legacies die. If you go to a baseball game, and I went to college in St. Louis, I don't really care for baseball too much because like a lot of white folks getting together make me nervous. I think about them lynching pitches on
me out to the ball game,
right?
But instead, you saw "Don't take me out, don't take me out
the ball, man." It kind of made me anxious around these people. But if you talk to that's a kid that's 10 years old, they could tell you about the history of St. Louis Cardinals. They know about Roger Hornsby from the 20s.
St. Louis is into that baseball.
Yeah, Sam Musial and stuff. And they know about Albert Pujols, but they know about the history of their team. They can appreciate the legacy. But black folks, we take pride in not honoring our the people that came before. We want to play Oblivion, but you look at music, because I'm a big Marvin Gaye fan. I love Marvin Gaye like people love, like other folks love Stevie Wonder. Okay. That's how much reverence I got for Marvin Gaye. Also, he's my blood cousin, allegedly. But Marvin Gaye, you listen to all the stuff he's done, like Kendrick Lamar, what make that song so powerful that Heartbreak, each sample in Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye was one of the greatest singers, songwriters, producers in the history of music. And he had soul in what he was doing. I remember like when Eric Sermon came out about 20 years ago, that song, Just Like Music, sampling Marvin Gaye.
Just like music.
Yeah, what people love, it was the Marvin Gaye flow in the sample that made that song what it. Even Robin Thicke and them taking, got to give it up. They got to give up their money. They had to give up their bag to his estate. But I'm saying, like, you look at Isaac Hayes, Marvin Gaye, James Brown. You want to help hip hop and rap without these guys. The soul, Aretha. I mean, I got Miss Fat Booty on here. That's my tribute to Mos Def did the song Miss Fat Booty. I did this shirt. This is like over 20 years ago. This artwork. But he was sampling Aretha Franklin in that song. That what made it work. The soul. They trying to kill the soul of black people. They're killing the soul of America when you do that. That's why a lot of the music is really dead on arrival. Because even with Biggie, he spoke his death into existence. Like we talking about casting spells. Like his first album was Ready to Die. The second one was Life After Death, and it came out that he was dead. And you listen to a lot of Biggie stuff. It's very depressing. It's good. We got some party anthems, but he also got some very interesting things about suicide. And the May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So I
want to tell everybody right now too, while you remind everybody about Mental Health Month, that everyone who's joining us, thank you so much. Everybody in the live chat, just want to give you a shout out. We love to see your comments there. And your thoughts and questions and all that. So keep it going. I see you guys there, and good afternoon. Peace of peace. And yes, we do need this talk. And thank you. We got some people from Chicago in the house. Shout outs. Go ahead and make sure you hit that like button. And if you haven't already, subscribed to the Care Dangerous Talk YouTube channel. Ron.
Yeah.
Look, you brought up some great points about us needing to value our icon. So honorable mention today.
All right.
The OJs, okay? We know Lavert over there. I have to be honest, I don't know the other guys' names. But this is their farewell tour. They're having. So I just wanted to shout them out, because when you talk about, well, I guess some people would consider them iconic, right?
Yeah, they are iconic.
Yeah, so it's the OJs. So, it's
when they did a song with Big Pun, right? Was that them that did this song? Well, that's Joe. Never mind. But they did a song with Pun back in the day, right? You my darling. They sampled that, right?
I was like, how you get that mixed up?
I'm sorry. I just like it's all over the place. We doing live and things come in your mind. Sometimes you get the facts off, whatever, and people want to hold you accountable. They don't hold CNN accountable like that, but they hold us accountable.
Oh, they're gonna hold us accountable.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you out. They going on a farewell tour, huh?
Yeah, no, hey, you can talk. I don't care. Yeah, I know you like facts like that, so I want to throw that out. You may want to catch one of the shows.
I think so. I actually saw was a Levert, right? I saw Eddie Levert perform before, like at the Freedom Awards, the Civil Rights Museum, the National Civil Rights Museum have an annual Freedom Awards. They give out, they acknowledge people, humanitarians, stuff like that, whoever they think is a humanitarian. But he performed that year that they had the founder of Black Enterprise being honored. Earl Graves, I think his name. I met Earl Graves, and he was the performance for that year. But I think with Eddie Levert, man, I give him a shout out. He lost both of his sons prematurely under suspect circumstances, and that's hard for any parent. I couldn't imagine being a parent. I live in your children, but he had some gifted children, especially with Gerald Levert, who is really underappreciated to me to this day. But
there's a lot of ladies that like Big Gerald Levert. Now he was a teddy bear, fan base.
He was a teddy bear, but I'm saying, like, we don't really honor our greats like they honor their greats. Like, to me,
I totally agree. I feel like the verses helped hip hop.
Oh, definitely.
In a big way, because it was like you see rock and roll really still kind of appreciate and go out and support their icons. So I think seeing our people come out for verses and seeing their fans rally around them was really cool, and it made it where the younger generation could see it. Like, you know, having Big Daddy Kane have a verses, and
I love, he one of my favorite rappers, man. Big Daddy Kane. I mean,
yeah, Onks and what Cypress Hill just had one, I believe it was.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, so just getting a little bit of, it's not just all the young rap. Well, it's not a lot of them, because I mean, you got to have the hits. So
I guess so. Yeah, you mentioned Big Daddy Kane. I'm thinking about, if it was for Big Daddy Kane, there'll be no Biggie or Jay-Z. Those are Brooklyn guys. But Big Daddy Kane, even in his age, he still get down better. He got great cardio workouts or something. That guy still can get down.
And it looked like he knocked down Naomi Campbell and Madonna, because I saw a photo of them in the pool together. They're really intimate.
He used to date Malcolm X's eldest daughter. They used to be an item back in the day.
Yeah, I think I know what they called Big.
Huh?
I think I know what they called him Big.
Oh yeah, but he used to date Malcolm X's daughter, his eldest daughter. He used to be an item, and also, if I'm not mistaken, he also performed at Jill Scott's wedding. Her last marriage, I guess it didn't work out, but that was like one of her biggest, music. She was a big fan of Big Daddy Kane. I think he made a surprise, or he made a cameo. He was like, whatever, he performed at her wedding. But Big Daddy Kane, the one that, he kind of connected Big and Tupac in a way. And that's a story that people could get into, but you pay a price for living too long sometimes. You pay a price for not dying young. And like, you look at Biggie, even though we observed his 50th, he died at 24. Tupac died at 25, so they forever young. And sometimes people take you for granted when you out there still putting in work. It's like with Bobby Rush, the great blues musician. He's one of the last ones standing, but like a lot of his peers, they long gone. They've been gone for decades. But he's the torchbearer. And my thing, there's a burden in a way of being a torchbearer. Like you can have, like in jazz, we got June is National Music Appreciation Month. The great Charlie Parker, he died at 34. But he had the body of a 60-year-old man. He wore his body out, but his best friend and people like that, like Dizzy Gillespie, they lived for decades more. And I remember reading something in the newspaper when Dizzy and some jazz guys visited Charlie Parker's grave outside of Kansas City back in the early 60s. He said something to the fact that, we're idea men. We're disciples of ideas. We're here to bring the ideas to the people. And sometimes you can have the Christ figure, then you have the disciples. Same thing with Kevin Samuels. Well, if you think about him, he got his disciples. And then we're going to see the type of work they're going to end up doing, how they're going to take, over the message and shape it in their likeness.
Well, you said Kevin Samuels, so I got to do this other mention. I saw this come down my news feed.
That's crazy.
And the people found this interesting because they like, how can Too Short, someone who calls women whores, right?
And call him B.I. he made his money.
B.I.
He made it.
Yeah, Too Short.
Made his.
It's basically his little thing, And it says right here on this Revolt article, Too Short doesn't approve of the way Kevin Samuels treated women. He quoted him as saying it sounded hateful. So I don't know. Do people just want to hear that voice right now? Because some of the people that spoke out about Kevin Samuels, I mean, they don't really have a good record with women either.
Well, I would say this. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. But that shows the effectiveness of a Kevin Samuels, that he could be so polarizing. Because to be great at something, you got to make your mark. And the only way you can make your mark is knowing how people really feel about you, or they, about your message or who you are. And Kevin, you got a lot of people that hate him, and you got a lot of people that love him. But you got to respect that the guy made his mark. And he made it at an age where people think about retirement, because this is too much emphasis on youth. You don't really know too much of anything when you're young. You got the energy, you might have some talent and ability, but you don't have a vision. You don't have knowledge yourself a lot of times when you're a younger person. Sometimes life got to kick you in your assets, for you to get an understanding and appreciation for who you are and what you came here to do. Kevin Samuels was a work in progress. Like, he was only really famous for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? For years, he tried to get an audience receptive to what he was doing. Kind of like a stand-up comedian. Talking about T.I. Kind of like, you a stand-up comedian, you got to pay your dues on the circuit.
I think that career over. I ain't heard him say he did nothing. Every picture he posts to Instagram, it says on my raps shit. I said, he trying to really let you know it ain't comedy right now.
Yeah, people don't understand it's a craft to telling jokes, to telling stories. And you got to pay dues. a lot of us could be really funny, but you know, it's different on stage. It's about time. It's like being a musician. It's about timing, spacing things out, you know, knowing how to pace yourself, getting through stuff. And you know, you make it look. It's like today is Sun Ra's birthday. I love Sun Ra. He's the father of them all, from Prince to G-Funk. I mean, the Parliament Funkadelic, Earth, Wind, and Fire does not happen. Andre 3000, Love Below does not happen without the existence of Sun Ra. And Sun Ra was one time approached by a fan. He said the fan told him, or the critic, whatever, said, "Well, my 4-year-old daughter can play what y'all doing," something like that. He said, "But can she compose it? Can she write it down though? Can she notate it?" See, simple and easy, two different things. Miles Davis playing a trumpet, the way he played it was simple, but it's not easy to do. It's certain nuances that you learn over time by practicing and stuff like that, and you know, certain experience. But like when you're a professional at a certain level, you make things look easy. That was called being a professional. You know, Steph Curry make it look easy to shoot them long range threes.
Except for in the playoffs.
Except for the playoffs. That's another story. But you know, but he's the greatest, most prolific 3-point shooter of all time. But he makes it look easy. But he's been rehearsing in the gym for hours and hours. They say in order to become a master in anything, you got to put in at least 10,000 hours. Become a master in anything you do. Charlie Parker for 4 years practiced his saxophone for 11 to 15 hours a day.
Some of us are having problems just doing that 30-day thing. So
well, you got more distractions now. If Charlie Parker had Pornhub, I bet you wouldn't be practicing on. He'll be using another horn or something. Be practicing something else. He had Pornhub back in 1930s.
What are you, Hannibal Buress? You just have to ruin our hero.
He's more funny
you
looking.
Just have to ruin our hero. Speaking of Hannibal Buress, Tuesday, guys. Tuesday. Tuesday, I have Andrew Wyatt coming on this program. I don't know what time yet. Andrew Wyatt is Bill Cosby's spokesman, PR friend. He'll be here Tuesday. We'll keep you updated on the community page. I've invited Mr. Ron Hurd.
Tuesday, right?
Yeah, Tuesday.
I'm gonna have to get this fire alarm
to accompany me.
Yeah, I'm get this fire alarm. I just can't believe it started coming on. Soon we got on the air. This is when the fire alarm started beeping. So I know people be in the chat, man, you got the fire alarm, brother. I already know. I'm telling y'all already. I know, but it didn't happen until I got on the air. So it's
I tell you what, all you gotta do is just go press the button.
Yeah, it's like up in it. It's like way up on my wall. I gotta get a ladder or something, but that's another story.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, we ain't got time for your house and your problems. Hopefully, it won't disturb what we got going on.
I know they're right. I keep all my problems myself. I'm glad I don't be drinking or doing drugs, man. I'll be really messed up.
You mean like this guy?
What might misunderstand about it?
To me, it clears the distractions out your brain a little bit. Settles you down. It's like having a glass of wine.
Yeah. So, did you smoke today?
Yeah.
And you're just fine.
I'm actually high right now.
Because I got high. Because I got high.
I never thought I would hear Kevin Durant say that, but it explains so much about his personality now. He was just high the whole time. Every interview I seen him in where he looked like he just didn't give a damn, he was just high the whole time.
To me, like, I'm going to be honest, I just thought about it today. I think Kevin Durant is like the Marvin Gaye of basketball players.
Run, shut the hell up. I'm going to the intro. Fix your damn fire alarm.
But these are the breaks.
The breaks.
Oh my God, it's a crazy day, boy. I can't make this stuff up.
Oh man. Shout out to the moderator in today's live chat, Sharon Pratt.
That's right.
It's on you. Shout out to the people that's from Houston that's watching, and we got somebody from Chicago, wherever you're from. You can put where you're from in the chat. I love it, guys. Go ahead and like this video if you haven't already. Share to a friend. Leave us a nice comment in the real comment box. What the hell are you laughing at?
I don't know. People like it's interesting that you brought up Kevin Durant. He is so it's like he's lackadaisical, but he's he's one of the greatest scorers of all time. And people always underestimated Kevin Durant. Even when he came out to become a pro, he's undersized. We know who one person who knew the greatness of Kevin Durant was Bobby Knight, the coach. He called Jordan because people said we didn't see Jordan. He actually said that Jordan was going to be great. He said Kevin Durant was ready. There was Bobby Knight said one of the greatest basketball minds of all time. Crazy white man, but one of the greatest basketball minds.
I gotta go back. Do you remember when he used to show his highlights, throwing chairs, grabbing players by the shirt, and like
you can't do that no more. But you remember Latrell Sprewell? He wouldn't do that to Latrell Sprewell.
No, he wouldn't. I don't know if kids today will go for it either.
Oh no, they won't go for it today. It's a different time. But Coach K was worked under Bob Knight. Coach K, the winningest coach in college basketball history now, Duke captain, whatever. Championships with 5 championships.
I don't like Duke, but I follow you.
But you don't understand. Bobby Knight had a losing record for a while, and it took him a while to build that program at Duke. I look at people here in Memphis; they be getting on Penny Hardaway. Penny Hardaway got a better win-loss record at the University of Memphis than Bob Knight. Not Bob Knight, but Coach K had at Duke, as well as the beginning of his career at other places. It takes time to build a program.
Yeah. Of course it does. But what about this issue with weed? Kevin Durant was on the Dave Letterman program that's on Netflix. And, he's invested in some weed businesses and he's trying to spread awareness that, people have the wrong idea about Mary Jane. Okay. But I have to say, Ron, I don't know how to feel about this because I get people can drink and whatnot, but I don't want to say yes to everything.
Right.
I mean, do it on your own time, but whether you should do it before a game or not, I don't know. I know there are players that do get high and play basketball, and they probably play really well.
Yeah.
I just don't know that I want the children to know that they're gonna just let people just do whatever.
Well, it was a baseball player back in the day that threw a no-hitter, a perfect game under LSD, I think.
That's crazy. Now that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that is quite impressive. But then you got to think about it too. I know the NFL Hall of Fame and the great wide receiver for Detroit, Calvin Johnson, Megatron, one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. He used to smoke. He talked about smoking weed every day or smoking for his injuries. He had a lot of concussions. He had to retire early. Concussions and other injuries, it helped with his, getting through them injuries and stuff like that. And then you look at, Louis Armstrong, he was high all the time. Every time his side blowing pops, he was high.
I like that, Ron.
Yeah, but he was smoking weed every day. But the reason why Louis Armstrong said he smoked weed every day was because it was an insulator against racism. See, Black people in America, we got to self-medicate by any means necessary. Because we go through a lot of trauma and anxieties and stuff like that. And especially with Kevin Durant. He's a public figure. He's not as protected as a lot of people. He's been heavily criticized. And somebody said, undersized in the chat, he's 7 feet tall. He was small. He's a railroad. He's a pole. He's thin. They're talking about, NBA, these some big dudes. You got to buck up a little bit. That's what they were talking about when they meant undersized. But he got a heart. You know what I'm saying? He's a great player, a great scorer, and all that stuff. But we don't, a lot of times, it's interesting. I'll tell you one thing. I was at the Ken Burns documentary filmmaker, right? Ken Burns.
I met him.
Yeah, I met him. He's an interesting. He was up there in the Northeast, but he had did a pre-screening of his documentary Jazz back in it came out in 2000, I think, and they did like a surprise Q&A at my campus, Washington University in St. Louis, because one of the talking heads in a lot of his documentaries, Professor Gerald Early. He's a brilliant Black man from Philadelphia, and I talked to Dr. Early a couple of times, but I was sitting next to a couple in the crowd. These are well-off white people. And I was telling the story about Louis Armstrong smoking weed every day because it insulated against racism. And these white folks with deep pockets, right? Like middle age, upper middle class, upper class white people said, no, Louis Armstrong experienced racism, Pops. That's not, you sure? I mean, this dude is from New Orleans. This is like,
you know why? They probably had this in their wallet instead of American Express. So they had no idea what you were talking about.
Yeah, but they don't. White folks don't think about us like we think about them. Black folks care about too much what white folks think about us, and they don't even think about us like that. We just collateral damage if thought of at all. Now our pain is their gain. Like they use our pain for entertainment and profit. Always have.
Historically, yes.
Yeah, look at the music though. We could kill each other in the music, but you can't talk about stacking trips like Hebrews. Remember all about the Benjamins stack chips like Hebrews. Clive Davis got mad at that. He got mad at P. Diddy for that. And then what LeBron said.
I still don't like how Clive Davis said Whitney Houston would have wanted them to continue to throw that party after she died at the hotel like that.
That she was a sacrifice.
I mean, how he gonna make a statement like that? You knew that she would want them to. I mean, it didn't feel right coming from him.
But think about all the people that Clive Davis made money off of. They now dead. Like he mentored P. Diddy. Look how many people dead that P. Diddy made money off of. I think biggest publishing is in his son's name. So his family even control his publishing. And that's what I heard. I don't know. I'm not in the room. But you look at somebody like Clive Davis. He took Janis Joplin into a room one time. It's a white lady. He took her to a room.
He took Janis Joplin into a room one time?
Yeah, I think to sign a contract or something. Then next thing you know,
that sounds
he died at 27. What I'm saying is, think about all the people he made. Aretha Franklin, she dead. Miles, a lot of people he made money off of. They no longer here to speak for themselves or defend themselves. Same thing with Barry
Aretha got sick. I mean, I get where you're going, but
yeah, but this guy is still alive, and he's like you look at Barry Gordy. I don't got nothing against Barry Gordy. I met some of his folks, his people out in L.A. They cool people, but think about all the artists that he was able to eat off of. They no longer here, like Marvin Gaye, his former brother-in-law, no longer here. And why have there not been a biopic about Marvin Gaye? All that great music. Then why have they not made a biopic about Marvin Gaye?
I'm surprised there's not one. It's hard for me to say there isn't one because I just can't believe that.
I think it's hard to get licensing for those songs. That's the thing. Like even with the One Night in Miami, that Sam Cooke, the company that owns his masters, they were producers on that film, so they was able to allow to use Sam Cooke's likeness and his music in that film. But Sam Cooke was bamboozled. I mean, his manager took the rights to his music. He thought he was over his music and found out at the end he wasn't. And before he could right that ship, they killed him. His manager was Alan Klein, who also controlled the Rolling Stones and the Beatles' career early.
I always have gotten a weird feeling from Clive Davis. He just but people try to act like he's so, I don't know if it's nice, but maybe just because they made he put them out and gave them opportunity. They always treat him like he's such a, jewel. So,
but he limited Whitney Houston's career though. He put her into this straitjacket where she couldn't do the song she wanted to do.
Well, that's because he wanted her to be this princess, and as you seen, that she opened up to Oprah many times and said that's not who she was. But she had some great music back then when she was doing that image. But I don't know, when you heard her say that, you like, is that why were you depressed because you couldn't be yourself? It made you wonder.
Oh yeah, she was straitjacketed. Yeah,
because you look at people like Britney Spears, who I was a big fan of, and you watch her Instagram, and it's a shame what her so-called fans have done. They think that she really needs to. They wanted her to lose her conservatorship when her parents were in control of everything, and she did. But when you see her post, and she posts nude pictures, and she put little, stickers over her private parts, and it's just a hard read. Like Drake said to Draymond Green, it's just a hard. Well, he said hard listen, but it's a hard read. She doesn't make any sense.
I mean, she a product of that Disney plantation. She's an MK Ultra sex kitten. That's how I look at her.
But what I'm saying is mental health issue that that some of these people that are celebrities have, and it doesn't get addressed until it just blows up in their face. I mean, and then we see them acting out. Like Orlando Brown, who's now doing better. And some people ask, why don't you hear people talking about him now? Why hasn't anybody, really brought him out there to say, well, we're glad you turned your life around. But when he was on the hard drugs he was on and telling us about the things that he allegedly did to Raven Simone and you know, all these wild stories of him saying that people were allegedly heterosexual. Homosexual. You know, he was telling us a lot of juice, and it was messy and it was entertaining. But they like to see you down too. They like to see you up, and they like to see you down. They don't care about you when you're in the middle.
Well, it is a song. Nobody loves you when you're down and out. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, it's a masquerade. You know, it's the world's a stage, man. Nobody cares about you. It's like what Biggie said, you're nobody till somebody kills you.
Whew, yeah.
Like a lot of time when Dick Gregory tell me, it's not how you live, it's how you die that people remember you. Whether it be a drug overdose, drive-by, police brutality, whatever, you know, your choice. But you know, you look at our people, man. It's like I remember when you talking about Whitney Houston. I can remember where I was at when Whitney died, and Bobby Brown was actually performing in South Haven, which is like a suburb of Memphis in Mississippi at the Landers Center. And you know, it was amazing that he came out on the stage and still was a consummate professional. And I know a lot of people were blaming Bobby Brown for her death, but Shaka Khan came out and said it wasn't Bobby. Her brother and them got her hooked on drugs. She was already hooked on them hard drugs. She possibly got Bobby hooked on some hard drugs because they were saying Bobby was just doing mostly weed smoke. I'm not saying he's a grown man too. They necessarily wasn't too good for each other because they were like, you know, they had these addictive personalities. But people don't understand, like, we don't honor our people, man. Bobby Brown was the king of R&B for about a couple of years. After he left New Edition, Bobby Brown, everything he touched was gold. I mean, he was the heir apparent to James Brown, Michael Jackson, all them guys. I mean, he was doing his thing. He was Chris Brown before it's Chris Brown. But people think Bobby Brown is a running joke. Bobby Brown was the king of R&B at one point.
Who moved like him? Like he had one of those Energizer batteries in his back. The way he used to just, my prerogative. I'm out there on the
Britney did her version of My Prerogative, didn't it? She did her own version.
Yeah, you know, he had those hips like MC Hammer. You know, it's like they make a V, or they wore the pants and the legs.
Oh,
like
like
this. Yeah. So
but people hate on Hammer too, though. You know, when Hammer had all those deals, the corporate deals, sponsorships, them rappers like Ice-T, Ice Cube, and LL Cool J say Hammer sold out. What they doing now? What Ice-T and them doing? What Ice Cube and LL doing?
Hammer was the man, baby. We talked about him last show. Then
they put me in the mix.
Yeah, Hammer. Remember when he got sick of them calling him corny, unlike Will Smith.
But Hammer was
earlier in his career. Remember when he started making the racy songs?
Yeah. Pumps in the bump. He had that sock in his bikini, I think. I don't know. You know that Hammer was throwing out, man.
He was thrusting to y'all. Yes.
But you know, but Oakland, Hammer ain't no pushover. Hammer ain't no joke, man. Cause he went after that dude from third base. You remember I'm talking about? The white guy, the white Jewish rapper.
Yes.
They have discovered Nas. He was afraid of Hammer. Hammer was gangster before he joined
Oakland. Yeah, for sure.
He from Oakland. I mean, Oakland, man, they respect Hammer out there. Hammer ain't no
they do. Yeah, he talked about that.
Yeah, Hammer's a different,
Everybody that's joining us, thank you so much. Go ahead and hit that like button. You see down on the ticker, it says subscribe to Caredators YouTube channel, Caredators Talk, excuse me. Ask questions, like, comment, and subscribe. And also, you can bless us with a Cash App. And YouTubers, you can send a super chat. Any donation is wonderful.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
And shout out to Derek Henry. He said Bobby Brown reminds me of Jackie Wilson. Yeah, he was Jackie Wilson of that time. And people forget about Jackie Wilson. Look how I said he went out in a coma.
I love it. Jackie Wilson. I would have never thought to compare them, but you know, hey. Speaking of Bobby Brown, let's get into this. So everybody's seen him these days with his. Well, she's not even a new wife anymore, but if you're a big Whitney fan, you may call her a new wife still. But Alicia Etheridge. But I hear that he knew her way back. He knew her when he knew Whitney.
Okay.
They were friends. And I don't know if they were together between the years, but they're together now. I don't know how long they've been married, but you've seen her around.
Okay.
This is her. And this is Bobby with his children that he has with her. That's his son. Here and here is his daughter. And Ron, when you see this photo, look at this huge smile that Bobby Brown has.
Oh yeah.
Now he has a A&E documentary coming out, and it's followed up by Bobby Brown, his reality series. I have to tell you, Ron, when I heard about this new documentary, I said at first, I was like, it's been enough, Bobby. Okay, we know enough about you. Okay, what more do we need? But the more I've seen him talk about it, I said, you know what? It seems a little interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say no to it right away. I'm not saying I'm going to tune in all the time, but I can see why people could find it interesting.
Oh, definitely. Bobby has always been fascinating. You think about, people would assume that Bobby would be dead by now.
Yeah.
People never thought Whitney would be dead and Bobby still be around. He outlived his daughter and his wife, Whitney.
He lost Bobby Christina, and we used to see him. I mean, this is him and Whitney's daughter. Their only child together, Bobby Christina, and this is something that he wrote for her recently on his Instagram page. And he also lost Bobby Jr. to drugs. Well, what, about a year ago? Was it that?
Yeah, it wasn't long. Maybe it was the last 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was crazy. I knew a producer who worked with him on his music.
Mm-hmm.
So when you hear about all the things Bobby Brown been through, you like, man, this guy's been through a lot.
Yeah.
It'll be tough for anybody, even if some of that stuff has been self-inflicted. It's like, man, he's really been through a lot. So when you see him with Alicia, it just seems to be drama free.
Oh, that's a good thing.
It seems to be light. It just seems like she does something for him that he needed. This is his other daughter that he has, and this is her wedding that he attended recently.
That's beautiful. That's excellent.
So he's had some beautiful moments in his life, even though there has been some sadness. But the reason I want to bring Bobby Brown up especially was just because of what you said. He made a quote saying that he think that Whitney would have been alive if they still had been together. Do you think that is true, Ron? Because I just think that even though they loved each other, we've all probably experienced that type of love once. It was just toxic. It's the kind of love where it's probably hot as hell between the sheets.
Yeah.
You break up to make up, okay? And we heard Whitney many times say it was what, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I've seen the videos where she said that. She was high as a kite and she said it. I'm a big Whitney fan.
Right.
I read the book her bodyguard wrote, and it gave some great information in it. And I can concur with you. It said that, her brother, which recently her mother got wind of the last few years, that her brother, the one who introduced her to cocaine.
Right.
It wasn't Bobby Brown. And most people, I think, know that now. But you hear about the cocaine use around the wedding, though, that's when I think Bobby started to engage in after their marriage, in the early parts of their marriage or whatnot. But do you think she would have still been alive, Ron, if she was with Bobby?
I think they would both be dead right now. I don't think they would not die alone. They would all die. It's like a suicide pact or something. I don't think they, like you said, they were good for each other. They could love each other, but they got love from afar. They had a child together, but it's just too toxic. And unless they got some type of therapy, like couple and separate
therapy.
Yeah, intense
and
therapy.
Not VH1 couples therapy either, Ron.
Well, I'm talking about like now, not on camera, but off camera, and be serious about it, and work through their issues as individuals as well as a collective. I mean, who am I to judge? But I just don't see that working out for a long term. Like I said, people are still surprised that Bobby Brown's still walking around and he's doing as well as he's doing.
Look, everybody that's watching this right now, in the comments, you put, would Whitney Houston still be alive? You put yes or no if her and Bobby had still stayed together. Because I want to know. That's what I want to know. And also, if you're joining us, go ahead and like this video. Yeah. I want to show you this picture as well. I thought this was a nice picture of Bobby Brown and two members of New Edition. Johnny Gill, my. And what's the other guy's name? I always forget it.
I forget his name. Ricky, yeah.
Is it Ricky? Yeah.
I think it's Ricky.
Ricky Bell. Ricky, pretty Ricky. Ricky. That look like some nice, was that Italian food they're eating?
It looks like it.
Yeah. Bobby looks good in that picture.
Yeah, I mean, he
just always come off like your drunk uncle.
What it is, like that crazy uncle that's cool that everybody want to hang around and tell all the good stories. You know, when he get drunk, right? You let it loose. I had an uncle like June. His name was Junebug. His nickname was Junebug. His real name was Ethel. You know, I don't know. It's kind of weird, old, but he used to tell all the family business. And the ones that you tell the truth, they call him crazy uncle, but they always was the honest one. That's the one you could trust, the crazy one. Everybody else was lying.
Look, Whitney would have just been dead anyway because our people are saying no, she wouldn't have been alive.
They probably, none of them would have been alive. They stayed together.
I mean, it was just sad. And when you look back and see pictures of Bobby Christina, you just like looking at her like they ain't get the baby no damn chance.
I mean, she's a product of both of them. You know what I'm saying? And you look how she died. And then my thing, I always was suspicious about Whitney's sister-in-law. She looked very
Pam.
suspect. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So why they wasn't watching her? Why was nobody watching her while she was so-called taking her shower? She ain't supposed to be left alone by herself because she had a thing about falling asleep, whatever. If that's really the real thing that happened, I don't know, because nobody dies of natural death in show business.
Well, you know, when Bobby Brown's sister first came out, I believe it was on Larry King, who I still can't believe is dead either. That's another legend.
Older than Methuselah though, but yeah, I got you.
Whether you like them or not. But she went on his show. I believe it was his show. Bobby Brown's sister, who I guess a lot of people don't like in the family. But she said that Whitney would never take a tub bath in a hotel. And I said to myself, you know what? As a Whitney fan, I could believe that she would never take a tub bath in a hotel either, unless it was just super, super nice. I could see her saying, I don't want to get in that damn tub. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
The whole night was sketchy. Even knowing she was hanging with Ray J, I'm like, who gave her these drugs? You know, and it was just a lot going on. Like, she was Ray J's god aunt, or she was Brandy's god aunt or something, right? But she was sleeping with Ray J. It just and then some people said he gave her drugs allegedly, and the whole thing just never felt good to me.
Now, if that's the case, if her death is a result of drugs, whatever, they sending drug dealers to prison now. Like Mac Miller, drug dealer, was sentenced, or he was found guilty. Then you look at Michael K. Williams; they went after the guys who sold them drugs. You know, from
and they just got Mac Miller's. Remember we talked about it on the show one episode. But they just convicted Mac Miller's drug dealer.
Right. So they holding people accountable because what they're using to cut the drugs with, right? Well,
they doing this because white folks is dying. Because when Negroes are dying of the crack, they didn't give a damn. But now white people are dying of pills and opioids, and
right. It's
become an epidemic for them, and that's why we seeing them really start to say, "Hey, we got to check out. We got to help these people out." Meanwhile, we got Biden giving crackheads free pipes in DC.
God bless Biden, boy. I just,
so just this is just some bull.
The world's a stage, man.
Where do I want to go next? Speaking of the world's a stage, Offset. Woo, 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 woo.
MIGOS.
Woo, 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 woo. Take off. Quavo. Woo.
The hip hop Power Rangers, eh?
You damn right. Woo, woo. Did I do good? Is that a good impersonation? Woo,
it'll work.
Oh. Take off. Anyway, you heard the rumors. If you haven't already, they trying to say that the MIGOS have broken up. Okay. Apparently, I don't know where it started first. Do you run? Who unfollowed who first?
I heard it was Cardi B that unfollowed, then Offset followed her suit, or something like that. Happy wife, happy life, whatever crap.
So you heard it was Cardi B first.
Well, I just saw like her name. They led one story, Cardi B unfollow, Offset unfollow, or it could be an Offset do it. But you know what? They actually remind me of the Black Beatles because it was Yoko Ono, who was John Lennon's girl, that actually helped break up the Beatles. It's like it's history repeating itself because the Migos, I mean, they're very successful hip hop group. They one of the greatest hip hop groups of all time. I mean, Donald Glover, the creator of Atlanta, said it was the greatest hip hop group of all, and that's debatable. But they up there in the all-time greats. They've been consistent, putting out hits and themes and everything, collaborating with everybody. But it's like it was a woman that broke up the Beatles. It's a woman that's breaking up the Migos.
But what would Cardi B have to do with it? Okay, before you answer that though, because I was just asking that, like, as sort of, well, I don't know if you call that rhetorical, but
yeah.
Let's think about this theory here. They starting to look like, without the abuse, Ike and Tina Turner. Okay, what if they are on like some new superstar status? Now, even though Cardi claims she don't like fame, but what if it's like, because I can't ever really figure out who's the lead person in Migos. At first, I thought it was Quavo. Okay, and then I have to be honest with you. I used to say that Takeoff was the best rapper out of the group, but Offset would get the most attention, like he was. But I have to be honest with you, Offset has really grown on me to the point where I think that he may be the leader of the group. He's good. But they're all good,
right?
But I also feel like this is just a publicity stunt, because not that they even need one, but he could be doing his own album, and Quavo and Takeoff could just be trying out something. They got a new single out, Hotel Lobby. So people like to just have a little drama sometimes before they put out a project. It makes it interesting to say, let's like competition between the two. Then they come back together and they do another project. It could be that simple. Now here they go right here. This is Quavo. Woo, 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 woo. I sound like an owl run. That was Quavo and Takeoff, and this is Offset. I'm trying so hard to remember their names correctly. I mean, I know it, but it just get confusing. And this is him, and he was saying that he was gonna put out some new music soon. Okay, they get it crunk wherever they go.
Oh yeah, they're great. Like I said, they one of the great hip hop groups of all time. And I always thought of Offset as being really the leader anyway. He has the charisma and the stage presence. And I think he tried to do an independent project not too long ago, right? He had a song about Ric Flair he did, and some other stuff, I think.
Well, they all did the song with Ric Flair.
Okay, so it was no independent thing. Okay, so I look at it's always a limited life on these type of groups anyway. It's amazing that they stayed together this long. I think they was formed back in 2008. And I had a reason. I thought I was listening to them back in 2009, but I guess it's the Mandela effect because their album came out, I guess, debut in 2013. I didn't know that. They may have had a mixtape or something. I don't know what I was listening to. I thought it was Migos, but I don't know. Because they've been around for so long. But my thing is like Outkast, another great Atlanta group. It's on so long they can stay together because they got their own. I mean, I love Andre 3000. People think he's the all-time greatest rapper. I don't know. I mean, he's up there, but I can't put him in my top 5. To me, it's not enough material. You know what I'm saying? But that would make him so great. He's so mysterious. But when they came out with their double album, him and Big Boy, you know what I'm saying? Speaker Box and The Love Below. I really gravitated towards The Love Below because he came out of Sun Ra school. It's like I saw Rap City back in 2000, I think. And Joe Claire was interviewing Outkast. And he asked Andre 3000 what he was reading. And Andre 3000 said he was reading a book about Sun Ra. He said, "What you know about some Sun Ra?" 3 years later, Love Below. Yeah, that's what he knows about some Sun Ra. So, I think, that fame monster, your ego getting fed, that fame monster is the beast. Because, like I said, Cardi B like Yoko Ono. She playing a role breaking up the Migos like Yoko Ono break up the Beatles.
Do you really think that's what it is? Because why would she do that? Look at this photograph. Do you see this?
Yeah.
What does anything look strange to you? I
mean, like they hip hop people. They
Run. What is wrong with you? Look at the photograph. Does anything look strange to you? Are you blind? Do you need glasses? Look at you
smoking. I mean, like,
look at the bottom right.
The bottom. Oh, that's you. What you doing there?
Okay, so I'm in the photo. Remember when I was in the pulpit with Jamal Bryant?
Yeah, I remember. The bishop or Pastor Bryant.
Yeah. I put myself there because I thought Cardi B had on a hat.
Mm-hmm.
But that's smoke.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not that interesting. Screw you, Ron.
No, I mean, what's your take on that? Why you say that it should be like looked at? I'm curious. Like,
it's just an interesting picture. It looks like her hair. She's wearing a smoke hat.
It does look like that, and then you see him smoking.
But my point is, oh my goodness, Ron. Oh my God. Let's move closer to the screen, baby.
Okay.
What if Cardi B and Offset are gonna do a full album together next?
Oh, they're gonna be major right there.
Woo! I just got it, baby.
Yeah,
I just got it, baby. Maybe that's what they should do, right?
I mean, Beyonce and Jay-Z did their thing on a couple of songs, but to do a full album, yeah.
Yo, I would like that. I would actually like that.
So it was a good move then. It's a good move.
Yeah. Here's Quavo and Takeoff's post about their new song, Hotel Lobby. And it's a throwback to a movie, the video. What movie is that? Isn't that the one with Johnny Depp in it? The one where he sold drugs?
Oh, you talking about I Don't Blow? Was that Blow?
Yeah, I think, wasn't this, they were trying to remake that look of that movie here.
Okay.
All right. I believe that's which movie.
I thought it would be Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas about Hunter Thompson. But you say it's Blow. Okay.
Oh, well, maybe. Well, I was waiting on you. The one who the fat guy. You the one.
No, listen, I don't know. Johnny Depp is really big right now.
No, it might have been that movie. Don't.
No, I think it's Blow. I think it's probably Blow. Boston George, whatever his name.
Are we done with this topic? Because if we are, I just want to do this one more time. Woo, 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 woo. Oh, oh.
My fire alarm helped you on that one, so.
Let me bring us back on here. So, what you think about that, Ron? Quavo was asked were they still together. He was dodging the question. I mean, you believe this? You believe this real?
I don't know what it is. Like the Jada and Will Smith breaking up story. I don't know. I gotta see it when it happens. It's like the slap. I didn't know if it was real or not. I guess it was real. So I don't know what this. Like the world's a stage, and they playing it up. They doing it for clout. Are they doing this for clout?
Oh, I like that. I like how you threw it back on a run. Yes,
we'll see. Time will tell.
Well, in the meantime, continue to enjoy your weed hat, your smoke hat, Cardi B. I gotta get me one of those. People in the comments, in the live chats, are the MIGOS really broken up? Yes or no? Let us know. I want to know from you guys. Are the MIGOS really broken up? Thank you, everybody that's joining us, whatever platform you're watching us on. Go ahead and hit that like button, okay? And leave us some nice comments. And send us a super chat on YouTube or a Cash App. $sign Care Dangerous, $sign R2C2H2. And that'll be for Run Herd II.
All right, yeah. Yep.
Woo. I like how you didn't see none. Okay, I'm about to say, get it there, Run.
Bitch on big dude. Bitch on big dude.
Oh, I was expecting. I was prepared. That's amazing. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Because I just want to show everybody something funny that I found online.
Yeah, that's all. You took me though.
How in the world do y'all plan on losing weight if your salad got a neck bone in it?
Oh my God.
Huh?
Oh my God.
Because I'm on my weight loss journey, okay? And I want y'all to go on it with me. I thought about recording my weight loss journey, but I don't feel like doing that. So I'll just have to update y'all from time to time. One day, once I start losing the weight, I'll be comfortable enough. I'll feel comfortable enough to tell you which weight number I started at, but it won't be today.
All right, that's understood. But I mean, if you got neck bone your salad, that means your salad dressing is A1. I'm just curious. I'm asking for a friend.
oh my God. But you seen people who say they on a diet and you go to Ruby Tuesdays and their salad is like it's like I can't where's the camera?
Yeah, it's like a lean tower pizza.
The tower over there in Paris. Yeah, it's like that tower that's leaning.
Yeah, lean tower pizza. Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, people, I think what people gotta do, you gotta be happy with yourself. You gotta do things. If you're gonna lose weight, why are you losing the weight? Is it for you or are you trying to impress somebody? Because if you got folks that walk around depressed and low self-esteem, they never gonna be impressed with you. It's like how you do things for people and you just disappointed how they receive it. If you do things, you shouldn't expect nobody to give you anything back in return. If it's a gift, just gift it. You know what I'm saying? If you can't afford to give somebody your last 20, don't give them their last 20 because they may not pay you back. And you should be like focused and stressed out over it. Just don't give it if you can't afford to lose it.
I'm gonna hit you with today's dangerous fact. That is a fact, Ron. Don't lose it. Well, whatever you said.
Yeah, don't give it if you can't afford to lose it. But then
you can't afford.
Yeah. But you should be happy. Happiness is a choice, though. I'm just saying, like, if you lose the weight because you want to be healthy for you, not because you want to be with somebody. Be okay with you. A lot of folks don't really know themselves. They don't spend enough time alone to reflect and to meditate on who they are and where they want to go. It's like what I said about Kevin Samuels. He discovered his calling in his 50s, but his life prepared him for his calling to make people mad at him or whatever. But what I'm saying is, you look at a lot of great business icons, and like Colonel Sanders or Ray Kroc, they had a lot of different careers before they finally found the thing that made their name. But a lot of times they happen when they're in their 50s and 60s. So people put all this thing about you got to have everything by the time you're 20 something, about 30. That's not really important. It's a journey. Because a lot of times you don't know what to say. You don't have nothing to say when you're young. You might have the ability, but you don't have really nothing to say.
Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Karen Run on 1930 AM radio. This is the part of the show where Run aims to help you center yourself and align with the moon so that
as my fire alarm goes out. You out of order, sir.
I worked with a guy at ESPN who voice sounded like he was a AM radio host. It was the chillest voice. Oh my God, his name was Jerry. I need to bring him on here just one day.
You should. Did he put you to sleep though, or he was alert?
Put me to bed. Hey, he wish he put me to bed. Jerry, he did his job. He didn't put me to bed. That's for damn sure.
I heard that. I heard that. Golly.
Okay, but in all seriousness, look at this picture, Run, because you know where we're going next. It's the part of the show that I spelled wrong in the title the first time I wrote it.
Oh, okay. That's hard.
Integration versus assimilation.
Right.
Integration and assimilation. Break it down for the people. Ron heard.
Well, I was thinking because I live right across the street where they shot Dr. King in the face.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
You've only told me that 50 times.
Right. So people know how to find me. You come and get me. Come and get me. I'm not hiding.
Y'all better leave right along. We got some waiting on you. Don't go over there. I'm telling you, don't trust them, baby. Don't.
Yeah, it's funny, but I think about that all the time. Like, Dr. King, one of the last things he said before they killed him, that I integrated my people into a burning house, meaning that, they was focusing on the wrong thing at the end of the movement where he was involved, because our greatest victories came when Black folks were on the same page. We had Black man, woman, and child being on the same page. We was able to shift paradigms. Case in point, the Montgomery bus boycott. The reason why it was a success because the Black family came together and made it successful. You had Black folks working with each other for over a year, not riding the bus. You had Black men, taking women to work. You had Black men protecting women from being raped.
Wait a second, Run. You going in, and just imagine the sacrifice, because I don't want you to just Goldberg.
Yeah.
I seen some movie with Whoopi Goldberg that was sort of like this.
Oh yeah, the boycott thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and just think about it though, when folks whoever had to ride the bus, and if you couldn't ride the bus and you just had to walk to work, like you in a whole new generation, you ain't used to that kind of work, you know. And it's just like you see the bus going by, and you gotta say, God damn. Gosh damn, I wish I could get on that damn bus. You probably be like, F this damn boycott. Slow down.
Right.
So it took a sacrifice. I just want people to get the picture that, you know, think about it. Especially if you somewhere hot. What if I'm in my state of Georgia that is still racist, but it was really racist then, and it's hot as hell outside, and now I gotta walk far because I got a boycott because I can't get on the bus.
Yeah, but also you're a pretty woman, and the threat of a white man raping you, because you had bus drivers and police officers raping black women. You know, bus drivers sexually assaulting black women allegedly. I mean, it was a thing. It was the rape of Reese Taylor. She just died not too long ago. She almost lived to be 100.
I heard of that.
They have
that show on. You can stream it. It's a movie or something.
Yeah, it's a documentary. I saw. I met the film creator of the person behind the documentary, a white woman. But you know, she was walking home from church with her best friend and her friend's son, and was kidnapped and raped by some white men in the pickup truck, by 6 or 7 of them. And you know, Rosa Parks got involved in investigating that case because she was working for the NAACP at the time. This is 10 years before the Montgomery bus boycott happened, right? And they were calling her a wayward woman, a prostitute. This woman was walking home from church, right, mind you, and she had a little baby daughter waiting for her at home with her husband, and her father waiting for her at home. And they raped her, and the guys confessed to it, but they were never held accountable for the crime. And this is 10 years before the Montgomery bus boycott movement. We had black women being accosted and raped by these white men in powerful positions. But when the boycott happened, you had black men who were veterans of World War II and the Korean War walking around with guns, escorting black women, making sure they got home safe. So you had no incident of a rape occurring from the white power structure. And the thing that I want to make people to note is that the bus company was willing to sell to black people. You had black businessmen like A.G. Gaston, who was the wealthiest black man in Alabama, who supported Dr. King's movement. He put them up in his hotels. When they got arrested, he bailed them out. You also had S.B. Fuller, the wealthiest black man in America, who had a hairline product company, whatever, that a lot of white folks patronized. But when they found out he was a black man, they undermined his company. But they approached Dr. King, said, look, Dr. King, these people want to sell us the bus company. And Dr. King said no. And then years later, his last speech in Memphis, he was telling us, what good is it to sit in a restaurant and you can't afford the hamburger? What good is it to buy from companies that won't hire you? Like Coca-Cola and Wonder Bread and Hearts Bread. He said, support black insurance companies and black banks, you know, so your black daughter can really be invested in your black community. You
ain't lying, because it's some foreign people down the street from where I live, and they cooking food in the back of the store. And I looked at the menu. They got the nerve to have one cheeseburger for $5 in a black table. I'm like, are you out of your damn mind? You could get a whole, right? You could get a 5 for $5. You think I'm gonna buy one of your nasty cheeseburgers? I don't even know if you washed your hands,
right?
And you don't like me anyway, because I know how y'all do when you post up on our blog. And you think I'm gonna pay you $5 for one cheeseburger?
Right.
You will get.
But no, but you can tell that's a great point, because like they could come over here and get a bank loan. You could be at a bank for years. They're taking interest. They investing your money in their different little ventures, but they want to give you a loan.
No, they don't.
Yeah, but I'm saying you invest, but they'll get foreigners like they're doing with the $40 billion in aid for the Ukrainian stuff. They'll help anybody but black foundational American people get ahead.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because look at this. A couple of things. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
You want to read that, Ron?
All right. For 60 years, the U.S. has blamed black moms for everything their kids do or don't do. It starts at home. Meanwhile, it's like 18-year-old mass shooters just appear out of thin air. Nobody's asking y'all, where is that child's mama? And it shows. That's true.
I said that Amber Heard, if she was black, are you kidding me?
That's true, like Robin Givens. They'll treat Amber Heard like Robert Givens.
Oh my God. The one off, you talking about the one off of Howard Stern?
No, Robin Givens. That's Robin Quivers. But I'm talking Robin Givens, Mike Tyson ex-wife.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
But black women are disrespected, but also you gotta remember black women for generations raised these white kids off their breast milk. Deny their own seeds, their breast milk. So white people are interested because it was white women that advocated that white men start lynching black people after the Civil War. You know what I'm saying? White women saying that type of stuff. White women were the ones raising money for these Confederate monuments that we're trying to take down, that people trying to take down now. It was the daughters of the Confederacy that raised the money for these monuments that y'all don't like anymore. They want to take down, So white women has a role to play. Like Dick Gregory said, I don't want to be with white women because, Dracula and Frankenstein and the mummy came out her pussy. Well, I don't want to go in there. I'm a Kit Kat, excuse me. Kit Kat.
Well, Kit Kat bar. Well, these folks today sure love it. And I have to tell you, it seems just like with a lot of black folks out here, they only care about white supremacy a little bit of the time, some of the time, half of the time, not even half of the time. But if it has something to do with them sticking their genitals in a different race, they want you to just say screw white supremacy because it's going to affect what they're trying to do. Okay. And it's like unless black people are being shot up, a lot of black people don't give a damn about white supremacy. They go on cooning every day. They go on ignoring things. They go on just being blindly ignorant.
Right.
Okay. And that's why I really wanted Trump back, because Negroes need some kind of like traction or some kind of, it just seemed like, and it's not the people who are always conscious, because there's a pocket of black people who know it or who are on their game, who gets it. But I'm talking about the ones who don't, and it's a lot of those too. They're the one that's holding it back, because like we discussed on our last show, black people can be white supremacists too.
Oh yeah, they the greatest white supremacists, because this system is not a white supremacist system. It's a racist system, and racism has to do with like who controls the leverage and the power and the access. See, if black folks, if we was in power, we could be racist, but we're not racist because we're not in power. So we can't deny white people certain things that have been denied to us systemically. We talking about bank loans, we talking about red line districts and stuff like that, where they, all this stuff they had done to us. This system was not made in our benefit, but white supremacy is a religion. And black folks can practice white supremacy as well as so-called white people.
But we won't ever get this card.
No.
So it's never going to come in the mail for you. And, it's a lot of people that get to wake up this morning. But these people here, Ron, they won't get to do it.
Yeah.
Remember their lives. This is from Buffalo. Say their names. The people who died during the horrific mass shooting by the little asshole Peyton Genron, however you say his little stupid name. We did that show last Sunday when it was breaking news that last Saturday that the little asshole went into a top supermarket in a black neighborhood in Buffalo. And he shot any black person he could find. He actually pointed his gun at a white man who was on the floor bracing for his life. But once he realized he was white, he told him sorry and moved on.
Right. It go back to like the assimilation versus integration. When you talk about assimilation, you lose your identity. And to be a part of the so-called dominant society or system. Integration to me meant that I keep my identity intact, but I have access to certain services and things. We can have some type of equality or even equity. You know what I'm saying? And black folks, we want to be like them at all costs. That means the good and the bad. We want to incorporate the good and the bad of the so-called white society. And therein lies our problem. Our greatest problem is that we want to be so closely associated with them, is that it's causing this grief for us. You know what I'm saying? Why do you want to be somewhere where you just tolerate it, not celebrate it? Why you want to live next door to them? Why you want to go to their facilities and stuff? Some of our best educational institutions happened during Jim Crow, during our so-called apartheid, because we were forced to deal with each other, not just with the doctors and lawyers, but the winos and the hookers and the degenerates. We all had each other in this so-called beloved community. See, to me, when I look at a role model is not always the most positive person. A role model could be a person say, you know what, I don't want to be like that person. You know what I'm saying? That's the model that I do not want to be like. And then you got the model you do want to emulate. And my thing is, as a people, even with the Brown v. Board thing was stupid, because the school that sister went to in Kansas was not a bad school. It was not a bad school. The problem was that the predominantly white school was closer to a house. And then really that case should have been sent to South Carolina, where they had really type of real bad situation with the education of black students versus white students. But you know, we don't even know about the history. See, we like let's say we had like the race war. We got a race war going on per se, but let's make it like a big three race war format. Like as you do basketball, big three race war. They got Dylan Roof. They got
the survival of the fittest, baby.
Gendron. I'm saying let's set it up. They got Peyton Gendron. They got Dylan Roof and put whatever random white boy mass shooter in the third slot versus Gavin Long, Micah Johnson, and Mike Tyson. I got
an idea. Just put the little asshole behind Mike Tyson and coach on a JetBlue flight and see if he makes it out.
Yeah, he'll be the soft target then. Yeah, he'll soften them up a little bit. But all I'm saying is, with black people, it's like when I saw that guy on the news saying that he saw the guy the day before scouting out the neighborhood. He said, "I'm a genius" shirt. He said, "I want to know if he really was a genius." And he is a genius. I brought him a drink. This
Master.
Dude, man.
Yeah.
I mean, a big dude.
Yeah.
You know, he reminded me of Michael Clark Duncan from the Green Mile. That movie was stupid to me, because if I had those type of powers, I would have killed all them white folks. They're trying to kill me.
Tyreek Nasheed's Twitter 2 days ago, I guess it was. He said, "Where's the anti-black hate crime bill?" As President Biden hugs a young boy whose father was killed at the Tops Market mass shooting. And people are saying, look, he's not hugging people in Ukraine. He's giving them real support. And you got another Twitter user below saying, just like with many black people voted for Biden for nothing, they still don't want nothing from him but a damn hug. Now, what kind of sense is that? And then Andy Jackson says black people should have voted for the other dude. But they're correct. Ukraine ain't getting no hugs. They getting help.
Well, my thing is, like, it was a black man that was on Buffalo, another black dude, come on. We just want to give out hugs, baby. Can I hug you? Heard the white girl news report. We just want to hug people all day. But yet you got contempt for your cousin Ray Ray that owe you $5 from 5 years ago. You forgive the white man who shot your grandma in the face, but you can't give cousin Ray Ray for the $5 he owe you from 5 years ago. our people, man, we kind of weird. We off message. You know what I'm saying? Because the black man supposed to be protecting the community, not letting the enemy in and take free for all. And that's a problem. A lot of us don't know our role. As The Rock said, know your role. The Rock the Wrestler, right? We don't know our roles. We don't know our assignment. So how can we get on code when we don't know what we're supposed to be doing? Because we are at war. This is a war. Because the fact that you shoot up the only place in the community where people can get food is a food desert. That's the only place they got in that community where they could go and get some milk and eggs, no matter how much it costs. It was the only place in the community because a lot of folks lack access in terms of transportation and stuff like that. See, what bothers me is the so-called black leadership in elected office is radio silent right now when it comes to black suffering and pain. I remember Jim Clyburn, the representative from South Carolina, so-called civil rights activist back in the day, when he was asked about what can Joe Biden do for him or his constituents. Like, the reason why Joe Biden can be in office right now because he won the South Carolina primary because of black people supporting him. And Jim Clyburn, he don't have to do nothing for me. I got everything I need.
You sound like that man off of Family Guy.
Nothing. He don't owe me a thing. In South Carolina, black folks are some of the most scary people I've ever met in my life. There's some scaredy Negroes in South Carolina.
I want to stay away from them.
So scary down there. They so scary.
I heard somebody else say that, so that must be true.
No, it's true. Them Negroes, I say, oh Lord, the sun about to hit me on the back. I got to go in home now. Oh Lord Jesus, let me make it home. Oh Lord Jesus. I ain't saying all of them. Because my people from Carolina, we got some revolutionaries. But what I'm saying is, there's a fear among black folks. Black folks, we our own worst enemies because we keep on saying we love Malcolm. People on comparing Kevin Samuels to Malcolm because I know why we don't love Malcolm. Where are the boys and men who emulate the actions and the of Malcolm? Why are we not raising Malcolms? Why are we not raising Malcolm? We love him so much. Why are we not raising strong black men with backbone that's willing to stand up for something? Why you not raise your sons to be like Malcolm if you love Malcolm so much? Y'all want a holiday, a holiday. Y'all want to celebrate how they whoop our ass. Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Y'all love getting y'all ass beat by white supremacy. Y'all love losing. Y'all don't want to be the Harlem Globetrotters. Y'all want to be the damn Washington Generals.
Backbones are at a
it's in the South.
At an all-time low. The only time I see a lot of backbones is when I go to Applebee's and eat those back ribs.
But I'm saying you got black men, we more passionate about Kevin Durant smoking weed and why the Phoenix Suns lost and Chris Paul not being a great. I mean, who cares?
Oh man,
who cares about Devin Booker getting broken down by Kendall Jenner before Game 7? That was wrong what she did. If that's true, that was horrible. That's terrible. Like Charles Barkley would say.
Thank you all the viewers that's watching. Go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to Care Dangerous Talk if you haven't already. While we talking about just black people who are white supremacists and we're talking about the Buffalo mass shooting again, just going over a few things. I just happened to be on LinkedIn and I come across something that I couldn't believe that I found, but I showed you the victims. Mm-hmm. And you see down here the very last name, Ruth Whitfield, an older woman. Her granddaughter was on LinkedIn, and you can see it right here. Mm-hmm. And it says, I'll just read some of it. My 86-year-old grandmother, Ruth Whitfield, was murdered on Saturday by a hate-filled, perverted white supremacist grown man. If it had been any other cause, I could process it differently. I could rationalize it somehow, but this is too close to home for me. How do you dedicate your life to fighting bigotry, trying to educate white people on their role in ending this blight on humanity, all for it to take your own grandmother? I feel like such a effing failure. I feel like everything I've ever done in my career was completely pointless. I know that it should make me want to double down and be proof of why it's such an important work. But I promise you, I feel the opposite. I feel like a fraud, like I've been spoon-fed, feeding white people these conversations about race so as not to upset them, feeding into the white fragility over and over again, asking them about their racist relatives and having them tell me that it's not a reflection of them. But it is. All right. You have chosen the side of hate every second that you remain silent, telling us that white children can't handle conversations about race, but my grandmother's great-grandchildren must look at her dead body and will have to tell children her story because she won't be there to meet them. The last time I saw her, we were sitting in her living room and she was telling stories about her childhood in the rural South. That's the end of this slide. I said I wasn't going to read it all, but I had to because it made so much sense. But I have to say, why does it, and I'm not saying her because I don't know her personally, but for most black people, it always takes these type of crimes for them to get to this point. Ron, we're already at this point. So do you know how frustrated it is for people that's like us who already know this and feel this way? And when people look at you and when you make a comment, they say, oh, you bitter. Oh, you must just be a bitter black woman. Oh, you must just, No, you dummies. Wake up.
That's right.
You see, these Negroes, they need Trump. Because see, when Trump keep the racists talking, when he keep the white supremacy going, the forgetful Negroes who have amnesia, they don't forget anymore. And so finally, people that's like you and I, we can finally breathe us. Let me tell you something, Ron.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was tragedy, when all that stuff was going on, I had a sense of peace inside of me because it was so good to see other folks that look like me be concerned,
Right,
or show concern, because like we'll give them a little leeway because people always saying, well, oh, you never know what people doing or how they really feel, or they got a family so they can't speak up. But shit, come on, sometimes you just gotta risk something. Look what your ancestors did for you.
Yep.
I'm gonna tell you, I wouldn't make it as no slave. Y'all gonna come out the house, you gonna see me hanging on the tree. They gonna play that sad music. I'm telling you, because I would make it. I don't know, but you know, it's just like I'm talking back. He gonna be like, "What you say, girl?"
And you know that the Whitfields, I think she was the oldest victim. Her grandma, her son is the fire commissioner of Buffalo.
Yes, and I think I had a picture of her somewhere. Well, I don't see the picture with me right now. I can try to upload it, but I'm glad you said that because I want to call everybody attention to her granddaughter. Went on to say some more things. She said, we'll pick it up. So the last time I saw her, we were sitting in her living room and she was telling stories about her childhood in the rural South. Stories about the racism she had endured since birth, and I cannot believe it's the reason her life is over. She had at least 20 more years left to live. She didn't use a walker or a hearing aid, even with significant sight issues. I've always struggled to even see her as elderly. Wow. So she's letting you know her grandmother was full of life.
Right.
And her life was taken away from her. But this is the part where it gets good, really. I don't want to use the word good, but it's going to get to the point where I really want to highlight. I'll say that. It says, if you care at all about honoring my grandmother and the other victims, I ask the following. Number one, now I don't necessarily agree with this one, but I'm going to read it. It says, stop effing talking about the perpetrator. He is nameless and faceless, and he is nothing and will die nothing. So as long as you let him. Me personally, I mean, I think we need to know who he is, but I get it. I get what kind of space she's in and why she said that. But this is the one. Number two, though, Ron, is what that had me going. And I made a post about it on social media. It says, instead, talk about white supremacy as the absolute fabric of our nation and what you plan to do about it. Okay. Before Black people can do something about white supremacy, we need more people to wake up and understand what it is. Wake up and understand that it's a system and it's constantly at work. Because when I see comments of so many Black women on social media and they call another Black women bitter for not understanding why they're seeing Black men just only date white women. To me, that's a problem. Now, people could say you can have your preference. Yeah, you can. But to me, there's an issue when you don't like anybody that look like you. Now, I don't care what your sexuality is, but if you don't date nobody that ever look like you, I don't understand how that works. That makes me feel like you think that, like, I don't know, you don't see the beauty in your own people, your own color of the parents that made you.
Yeah.
I mean, not even once. I mean, I don't know. My opinion.
Yeah, but you're entitled to it like everybody else. I mean, the problem is we don't want to know stuff because the know is to be accountable, to be held accountable. She don't want to know. That's why history keep on like its own repeat cycle. Because we don't learn the lessons from the past. It's like Groundhog Day. We keep on reliving the same horrors and traumas from generations ago because we don't want to admit to ourselves that there is a war going on against eliminating and neutralizing Black people by any means necessary. Whether it be by programming through social media, pushing a alphabet agenda, whether it be by so-called police brutality or the miseducation in the school, in the classroom, and as also at the home. Because if you got black women this confused, you are the first teacher of the child. Your child don't have a snowball chance in hell. Because the thing about it is, I never learned about black history in school. I learned it from talking with the elders or listening to the elders and doing my own research, reading books. My grandmama had a Black History World Book Encyclopedia from the 70s. And I was just sitting in her living room on the floor, read that book for hours when I was in elementary school. That's how I knew about, Burt Williams and Medgar Evers. And, I talked to the elders about Emmett Till. They were from Mississippi. I never learned that in the classroom. My mom used to take me to be a tour guide, a volunteer tour guide at the Civil Rights Museum when it first opened. I was just 11 and 12 years old, being a tour guide, working with my mom, talking to people around the world about loved ones they lost. I have talked to brothers and sisters who have lost grandparents. Granddaddy went out to buy some bread and never came home.
Damn.
Because like the white man wanted his land. Like Robert Johnson just had a birthday in May the 8th. He's from Mississippi. His stepfather owned a whole bunch of land down in Mississippi, where these Italians called the Machete brothers ran him out of Mississippi in fear of his life. He had to go to Memphis, leave all that land behind because some white dudes wanted that land. I think I saw a headline that said that black folks lost almost $326 billion worth of land in the 20th century based on state-sponsored white terrorism. I'm right across from Arkansas, where they had the Lane race massacre, where you killed over 1,000 black people because they dared to organize a sharecroppers union because they was tired of getting exploited by white business people. And the incident started at a church. The white folks went to shoot up a black church. You talking about going to the grocery store? Black folks not even safe in church. The 4 little girls, September 15th, 1963, down in Birmingham. And I'm gonna tell you something. I went down to Birmingham because they got that National Civil Rights Museum right across the street from the 16th Street Baptist Church. And you know how messed up black people minds are. Them girls got killed doing Sunday school. It was a 5th child. Her name is Cheryl Rudolph Collins. She lives outside of Birmingham. She got permanent eye damage for what happened to her and her sister and her friends back in 63. But them white folks blew up that church basement. It destroyed the stained glass of the white Jesus at the church. And these fools, no disrespect, they put up another white Jesus stained glass window. It took white folks and people from Wales, from England, to put a black Jesus stained glass in that church.
They came from the same school Florida Evans did.
Damn. But I'm saying, why can't we see ourselves? We are the first people. We are the people of the Bible. We the so-called chosen one. Judaism is an African religion. So I'm saying, like, why can't we see ourselves as in the image of so-called God? Don't we deserve justice? The last words of some of these folks got lynched probably were Jesus, and Jesus never came. Mama never came. I wonder how many black women and men were killed, and their last words were Jesus or mama.
You got to remember the white people that came over here to America. Those were the criminals that came over here and started America.
Yeah, they either send them here or they send them to Australia.
It was the outcasts. It was the people who committed crime. So it's a foundation that it was started on, and it's just its own curse already. Despite all the other stuff, it started wrong. Why are we talking about this?
We allow ourselves to be victims, right? We gotta admit that we want to play victim to white people. We like playing victims of white supremacy. We don't want to be responsible for self-determination. We don't want what it is to be free, because free means no security blanket. We don't want that type of self-determination as a people. And I see Sister Carol will come back. But what I'm saying is, we got to be honest with ourselves. A lot of our problems because we don't love ourselves enough to just be by ourselves, to be with each other, to build among ourselves. And promise me, do your research. You will see that our greatest victories at the civil rights movement was not because of white college students coming down south, not because of civil rights bills being passed in Congress, but when black men and women and children came together to solve our problems. That's when we had the most traction. And the black family has been being punished for 60 plus years because we are a threat to white power. White power is divide and conquer. Black power is unity and solidarity. White power is divide and conquer. Black power is unity and solidarity. And we got to study the books. Our greatest victories came when we were forced to deal with each other. Point blank. You don't have no friends unless you're a friend to yourself. Unless the man staring back at you from the mirror is a recognizable friend, you have no friends. You have no allies. There's not brown. There's black people catching hell. It ain't yellow. It's black people that's catching hell. It ain't red. It's black people catching hell. It ain't white. It's black people catching hell. We got to deal with ourselves. Like Dr. King realized at the end, he was fighting the wrong battle to win the war.
Boy, you were going off when I left.
Now, it's not to say, because, you know, they got the Poor People campaign coming through here tomorrow. They're going to be at the site where they killed Dr. King, or they crucified Dr. King, right across the street. Reverend William Barber will be the next king. But how can William Barber be the moral conscience of a movement? We had a black teenager get lynched when you was the president of the state NAACP in North Carolina, and y'all ain't do a damn thing about it. A black boy was found hanging from a swing set in the middle of a white trailer park.
Horrible.
He had expensive shoes on. They took his Jordan, put on some shoes. They don't even fit his feet. And nothing's been done. You got black folks still getting hanged in jail cells in wooded areas. You got black folks from Ferguson that were activists still catching hell, still getting killed. What is Cori Bush doing about it? She is in Congress on the blood of black heterosexual activists getting shot up and burned up in their cars during King D seals or being hung from their mama's trees.
Well, you
what he saying about
shit.
Stuff?
Yeah.
You got Black Lives Matter, got $90 million. Where's the bail fund? Where's the legal defense funds for the real Black Lives Matter activists catching hell, having their lives destroyed, having their mental destroyed, having
and they just show up dead, and we don't know what happened to them. But they just be like, activists found dead. We're like, what?
Yeah, but they buying black lesbian mentions and living it up. You're living it up, like Ja Rule and stuff. I don't understand our people. Our people don't want to win.
Remember that?
If you don't want to win, stop complaining.
Right.
Y'all care more about the Dallas Cowboys and the LA Lakers than you do about your black life.
Boy, you were about to make me sing that Ja Rule featuring Bobby Brown. Never knew how the bitter feeling. No, you lose my love and my heart. Oh my God. We needed a laugh after all that, but we're not done with the white supremacy. Let me show you what I found that went down in Harlem recently.
No, they watched the whole thing. They watched the whole thing.
Man, sob it.
They gonna help your ass. This right now. We all saw it. He's watching, man. Ain't no way to ride with them here. Or so. But the one on the floor had a bunch of needles and stuff, but he good. I'm gonna update you. That man, he admitted, if you open up, he admitted. Me watching the whole thing, he swung on the flat, he swung. He reads it. I'm not gonna shut up, it's the public reason. It's not no subject, I'm giving the story the way it was.
Ron, we can't hear you because of your mic. Your mic is muted. Yep. Look, guys, we having some technical difficulties.
Oh yeah, it's looking retrograde. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm trying to work. I'm telling Ron he gonna come back by himself, and now his mic not working.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Take myself out so I can fix this light while he tell you about this video and what went down in Harlem. Excuse us for the technical difficulties.
Yeah, so you can hear me now. But basically, that guy was accused of poking people with needles, unknown substance in the needle. And so the black folks or the people down there got upset about it, rightfully so. And so they started commissioning a community beatdown on this dude. And the police came in, and they protect him like he's like gold at Fort Knox. You know what I'm saying? Like he's getting protection like the president from the NYPD finest. And my thing is, you know, black folks are the least protected class of people in this country. Everybody is protected except for black folk. And we always for everybody but ourselves. And like I said, we don't really have any friends. We don't have friends or allies unless we be a friend and ally to our black selves. And, you know, and we got to get on one accord with that. And we're going to, you know, everybody talking about, you know, we got to come together. We ain't all come together. We all going to agree on this. Because even in the Civil War, you had black Confederates. You had black folks that owned slaves back in the day. You had black folks that fought for the Confederacy because they wanted to fight for the Confederacy. So we got, no, don't all skin folk and kin folk, right? All skin folk and kin folk. Because even you go back to the Civil Rights era, you had black informants. Like you go down to Mississippi, the Mississippi Sovereignty Commission, which was basically the government's Klan organization. They had black folks spying on other black people, giving people car license plates, notating movements and everything. Medgar Evers was compromised by the Mississippi Sovereignty Commission because he has black spies spying on him. And sometimes a lot of these black people were prominent people in the community, prominent educators and all types of authority figures were compromised by the white power system to undermine black power. Like I said, white power is divide and conquer. Black power is unity and solidarity. That's how I see it. And it is what it is. But, you know, it's funny, as a people, we got some type of cognitive dissonance when it comes with dealing with the powers that be. I for the life of me, cannot understand our infatuation with the Democratic Party, the Democratic Party, and with new neo-Dixiecrat Joe Biden. Y'all say y'all love Malcolm. Listen to his speeches, A Message to the Grassroots, and Prospects for Freedom, one of his last speeches. He told y'all who the enemy was. He told y'all, but yet y'all won't listen. If Malcolm was alive today, y'all kill him again. That's all I got to say.
Ooh, damn. I don't even know if they can handle a Malcolm. You could say something little when people are just start to follow you. They don't like you no more. I mean, they want to believe that the races are kumbaya together. And I don't know how you can be black and feel comfortable doing that. Well, I guess I can, because these coons have been, it's historical.
They love master. We sick boss. We love white people to our own detriment. It ain't about, hey, I don't hate white people. I know their history. I know their credit report when it comes to race relations.
Right.
They got the white privilege card, but their credit report, they credit rate among us, it should be less than 0.
You know what? I want to also show guys that a couple of days ago, this was posted. Fort Worth police released video of alleged excessive force that resulted in officers firing. So watch this video, and then in the comments, tell me if you think this was excessive force. And trigger warning. I don't. Some people need trigger warnings for this, but I mean, I don't know. So here we go. Okay, so you see it got two different angles of this. And I mean, he just pretty much slammed him to the ground. Is there a problem with the fact that I'm just like, okay, I mean, yeah, this is excessive force, but it's not the worst thing I've seen. But definitely, he should definitely have been reprimanded like he was, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Because it's just like, you know,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Now, I don't think like some things, like they do things, they nitpick things that make people emotionally triggered. Like you said, we got to be more sophisticated in how we respond to these type of things. I'm not saying like we should know the context. I want to know like what's the backstory behind this guy being arrested in the first place and what happened before. I'm not saying I'm justifying what that dude did, but I promise you, my thing, if it really is bad, but it is really as bad as if we think it is, we should be doing more than what we do. If police brutality is really out of control, if the police as a whole are really out of control, then why are we not taking ourselves seriously enough to correct the problem as a people? Why are we not really truly advocating for correction? I'm not talking about marching and singing and dancing in the streets. I'm talking about why are we not serious enough? If you fear for your life every time you see some sirens behind you, every time you see a patrol car behind you, why are we not doing more to make sure that we're protected from these type of abuses? See, people get away with stuff because they're not held accountable. We don't need, really, with all due respect, we don't need no anti-black racism bill. We need to enforce the bills or laws already on the books. A law is only as good as it is enforced. If we don't enforce a law, it's just some words on a piece of paper. It's just something they pass. It don't mean anything. The laws that we already have on the books need to be enforced against this type of treatment or mistreatment by the powers that be. This is Mercury retrograde like no other, but if we really took ourselves seriously, we would have heeded the words of Brother Malcolm them years ago. Y'all think it's so fun. Oh, what Malcolm said 60 years ago about police brutality, like he said it yesterday. Let's show you how far we have not come. Let's show you how far of it is that we have allowed ourselves to get played out on a horrible joke. It's like what's happening to black people in this country is like a Mad TV or Saturday Night Live skit that has gone on too long. When will your pain stop being funny to other people?
Never.
When will you start taking yourself seriously? So people keep on showing me all this stuff about black folks, like Sandra Bland. Why is that county jail? Why does it still exist? If you have a situation where black folks were known, found dead under questionable circumstances, why don't we know what they use to hang Sandra Bland with, the brand or whatever they use, whether it be a garbage bag or whatever? Why we don't take ourselves serious enough to ask the right questions to get the right answers?
Now that's a good point, Ron, because they do the story and then they let it go. The family get paid and then we don't hear nothing else about it. And maybe we just need to follow up.
It's just some things don't need to be said that should be handled off camera and off record. That's all I say. It's like if they took us like that, you know, it was in Mississippi back in the 40s, I believe. They kept on finding black GIs, like black men in uniform. They were found dead in waterways in Mississippi, from my understanding. And it was this great civil rights activist named Emsey Moore. And he was a mailman, I believe, too. He's from Cleveland, Mississippi. But he wrote the State Department. And I guess they stopped finding black men in their military uniforms in these waterways, but they probably did a better job of hiding the fact that they were killing these black men. You know, we don't understand. We fight for a country. Memorial Day is coming up, which was started by black people. We have fought for a country that we've been loyal to from day one, a republic, but has never been fair or loyal to us. We make some of the best soldiers in Uncle Sam's army, but we never got the treatment that we deserve as a people. You had German prisoners of war getting treated better than black GIs during World War II. My grandfather talked about this.
Well,
you had black soldiers getting treated like they were criminals.
Dangerous fact.
Why do you fight so hard for a country that won't fight for you at all? They won't give you a little bit of money.
They still caping for it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy. Insanity.
Malcolm said you bleed in Korea, but you won't bleed in Mississippi for your own brethren. But you bleed for the white man in Korea, but you won't bleed for your own people in Mississippi.
Hello.
I mean, you bleeding, but fighting to liberate yourself and your people from this hell. The American dream is the American nightmare for a lot of us. I can recall people say, "Well, Ron, you just angry." I am angry, but I'm not angry where I'm self-hating. A lot of y'all angry in a self-hating way. Hello. I'm angry in a liberating way. It ain't gonna raise my blood pressure, because like to be angry is a form of passion. It's like hate is a form of love.
Well, hell, I be angry sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm saying, but white folks say, white folks know what they did. If they don't know exactly what they did, is in their generational, their DNA. The reason why they fear us, like when they feared Obama becoming president, a lot of them knew that they was in for an ass. They was in for overdue ass whooping. White folks know they in for overdue beatdown. I've
heard that one before.
Yeah, that's why they act the way they are. But they can't believe that we take all this, though. That's the problem.
I can't believe the shit either. Yeah, and talking about somebody who's been through a lot, Bill Cosby. This is a tweet by Dr. Boyce Watkins, who's a friend of the show, but he tweeted, Bill Cosby is being sued by a woman who says he groped her at the Playboy Mansion 48 years ago when she was 15 years old. Perhaps the person she should sue is the one who sent a 15-year-old child to a house of prostitution in the first place. The only reason I'm bringing this up, guys, is to let you know, Tuesday on this program, I have Andrew Wyatt, spokesperson, PR man for legendary comedian Bill Cosby. Say what you want to say, but it's still Bill Cosby, and it still rings. How the saying go, Ron? That still rings some bells.
It rings true, yeah.
Yep. So I don't know what time yet. I'll update you on the YouTube community page and all social media. And I've invited Ron to come and navigate these waters with me because we want to discuss the latest case of Bill Cosby and see what we're at with that. And
somebody made a good point in the chat. It said, Derrick Henry, why don't they go out the Hugh Hefner's estate? That's a great question.
Well, they have been doing more shows on Hulu and all these streaming networks where they're bringing in old bunnies and people who are talking the real truth about what went down in the Playboy Mansion. I'm starting to see them now sort of kind of roll this campaign out. But of course, they allowed Hugh to live peacefully. And now he's gone. You know, he's moved on. So, hey. But yeah, how can you bring up Bill Cosby's name and have left Hugh Hefner unscathed? And we talked about that last time. Well, Andrew Wyatt's been on the show actually 2 times. So the first time you were with me and we talked about it. Yeah.
You know, it'd be good to hear. I mean, it'd be good to hear what Andrew Wyatt got to tell us about the update going on with Mr. Cosby. But it is sad that Mr. Cosby believed in Black people. And for the most part, a lot of us abandoned Bill Cosby in his time of need. We did not give him the benefit of doubt, you know what I'm saying, at all. We just left him out there to dry. And he did so much to invest in Black people and Black-run institutions. It's really like he didn't get a good return on his investment. And people owe him a lot of checks.
Yeah. You know, I would love to hear from Bill Cosby, but he can't speak right now. He's got a lot of stuff going on. And we obviously see it in the news.
But this is why it's so important to support platforms like this. Like, I've been critical of Andrew Wyatt's approach about how he handled this type of stuff. I believe he should have been coming to us before, 3 years or 4 years earlier, like he's doing now, making the rounds. It could have made a difference. That's why Black media matters. We got to invest in our own media platforms. Malcolm said a big criticism of the Black press was that we was too reactionary instead of claiming a narrative and being in front of a story. You got to be in a position to start breaking stories.
It takes money to break stories too. It takes access. So I mean,
Cosby got resources. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of you trying to buy a network, you should have been trying to invest in some of this new stuff. And he was doing that at first. He was.
But you know what, Ron? Let's just give him a little preview because we want these people to join us on Tuesday, and we're gonna really get into it with Andrew Wyatt. I've been in contact with him. He said that he'll be on. I just got to finalize a time. So you guys hang in there with us.
Yeah, that's all we do.
Yeah, that's all we can do. Now, we got to, when you talk, what you say all the time, Martin Luther King, he died and his heart was, to tell that story.
When he died, he was 39 years old when they killed him. And his heart was that of a 60-year-old man. So he probably didn't really have that long to live, but the way he died, that's why we remember him. He died, while in the line of duty.
The reason I asked you to bring that up is because I feel like when we talk about these heavy topics, we have to treat it like a workout routine. And, we start off slow, like Tina said, and then we get it going. We get it going a little bit. We start rolling down the river just a little bit. Okay, and we get that pace going, and then we gotta slow it on back down again, Ron. Yep. So in doing that, I got this for you. A mosquito could never. 80s and 90s babies know what's up. If anybody ever had a Avon lady come to the house, And we know you did. If you had a mother, or aunt, or grandmother, and during the summer times, if you live somewhere where you have mosquitoes, you definitely had this SSS. Was it skin to skin? Skin to
so soft.
Skin so soft.
Skin so
Skin
soft.
so soft.
So soft.
Hey, leather so soft. Okay. Yes. That was the mosquitoes die on sight, Ron. When they see you, they die on sight. Do you hear me? You just bring that bottle out, baby, and you put it on like it was some of that little nasty cologne, you know. Yeah. Really takes me back. I saw that and I laughed. I just wanted to share that.
That's cool. Back in the day. But I'm gonna have to get on out of here. I'm supposed to be going to some type of engagement.
Oh, what? Ron putting the brakes on me? Not Ron.
No, I ain't putting the brakes. I'm enjoying this, but I'm gonna say like I had an engagement supposedly, but this is Mercury retrograde. Like I said, we have technical difficulties. Fire alarm started chirping as soon as I got on here with this beautiful woman. And I've been really enjoying the view.
Offset, take off, MIGOS, all sorts of stuff was happening.
Yeah, so it's always a pleasure to get up with you. I mean, sometimes it's bad news, but it's always good news to be able to chop it up with you for the people. So I'm really blessed and highly favored, and so are you.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, everybody in the live chat. Make sure you like this video, and you can always send the show a donation at Cash App Kara Dangers, Cash App R2C2H2. And I guess I better get out of here because Ron actually has somewhere to go. He has a life.
We all got lives until we don't have them no more. So make the most of your life. Don't waste your time with the wrong people, with the wrong crowd. Do your thing and don't apologize for being who you are. To thy own self, be true.
Right. And remember, you ain't got no friends and no cooning.
Hey, everybody, this is Brother Ron. I am asking you all to do me a big favor. Think about supporting the We All Be movement. Your donation is tax deductible. The We All Be Group Incorporated is a recognized 501c3. And I'm just asking you all because I want to keep on bringing y'all quality work through the way that I know how to do best. And I'm going to sing my praises and toot my horn. A lot of y'all were not hip to Dick Gregory until Brother Ron brought him on the We All Be platform, until that Django review we did. Y'all seen another side of Judge Joe Brown, and Judge Joe Brown's message has been amplified. But it was We All Be that brought Judge Joe Brown to y'all back in 2014. And so many others. And we covered so many things. So help us out so we can help you all. Peace.